Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Dr. Shantanu J. Nair. I completed my MBBS from Government Medical College Trivandrum, and in the past year I improved my NEET PG rank from 23,000 last year to 138 in the recently concluded NEET PG 2024. In this video I would like to talk about the one change I made in the last year which I think had the biggest impact on my exam preparation. But I would insert a disclaimer here that saying that there are many things you have to do in order to crack the entrance exams. There is not just one thing. There are things like doing multiple revisions, daily MCQ practice, making a 20th notebook, actively recalling stuff, etc. About which there are too many videos on YouTube, and I'm not going into each of them separately. But if you want me to make a video on that, please comment down below. And I recommend that you see videos on each of the things which I just said. But what I want to focus on this video is about the one thing which I did, which I feel had the biggest impact on my preparation. And that thing is to study in a focused manner. By that I mean that the bulk of your time preparing for the entrance exam should be focused on learning the high-yielding topics in a reasonable amount of depth. And that point is what I meant when I said in the thumbnail, "Escape the Marrow Trap." I'm gonna admit that the thumbnail was more of a clickbait because I don't hate Marrow. In fact, I like the app very much, but I don't think it should be used in the way that it's advertised, that is to study for entrance exam. When I say Marrow, I don't actually mean the app itself. I use Marrow to represent an idea that you have to learn things in an extreme, all topics in extreme detail in order to crack the entrance exam. This is not true. Mind you, I'm not opposed to learning things in detail. In fact, I love to learn topics in detail, and I used to do it during my MBBS years because it's the more fun way of learning, and I also think that doing so makes you a better doctor. But unfortunately, that's not the most efficient way for you to study and crack an exam like NEET PG, where a differential learning approach, allocating more time towards high-yielding topics, will give you a much better return than seeing all the videos and getting lost in the sea of information. That's what I meant when I said trap in the thumbnail. The trap here is that you will feel like you will answer all the questions if you learn everything, all the topics in detail. But this is a logical fallacy because you can't remember everything that you read in the same way. In fact, when you try to learn so many things about so many topics, you run the risk of forgetting things which are more important for the exam, which are tested more frequently for the exam. Fortunately, I realized this mistake very early in my preparation. In fact, I realized it last year after I had my devastating NEET exam. I still remember that even though I hadn't prepared for my exams, when I went to Visakhapatnam to write my last year's entrance exam during my house urgency, I felt very happy leaving the exam hall because I felt I was familiar with almost all the questions, and I thought I might even get a decent rank. So I was half expecting that, but when the results came out, I had got a rank of 23,000. I was so disappointed with myself during that period, and I felt so dejected. I couldn't wrap my head around the fact that I got such a rank at that point. But after the initial shock, I tried to introspect as to what happened in that exam, and then I realized that what I felt as I said, was familiarity with the topics, and I lacked the precise knowledge needed to answer the questions being asked in these exams. And that distinction is very important to make. The distinction between being familiar with the topic and having the precise knowledge in order to answer the questions being asked in the exam. An unfocused, broad-based learning will help you get familiarized with the topics, but it will not get you the precise knowledge which is essential to answer the questions being asked in these entrance exams. And this is the marrow trap which I've been talking about in this video up till now. When I look back at my own MBBS journey, I think I was already familiar with the topics when I gave my NEET PG exams last year, because I used to study well during my MBBS life with standard textbooks, marrow, etc. And I used to subconsciously feel like I would automatically get the rank I desired with the general preparation I was doing during my MBBS. But that was not the case last year. But fortunately, I was able to understand my mistake fairly early when I started my preparation last year. But many people I know don't realize this mistake up until very late in their preparation, where any course correction would be too difficult. So that was one motivation for me to make this video, to prevent at least few people from chasing a wrong preparation strategy. So I've been describing the problem for you in the past few minutes. So let me try and give you the answer to how to prepare. So in my opinion, all these standard textbooks, marrow, etc. should be used in your MBBS years, or even in the initial part of your entrance preparation, where time is not an issue and where you can correct your basics and build a solid foundation of knowledge. But when you are down to the business of cracking the entrance exams, I think you should adopt a more focused approach, where you learn the most important high yielding topics well, rather than seeing all the videos in the marrow from start to finish. Now, if you have already been using marrow, I think when you are in the stretch of preparing specifically for an entrance exams, you should start compiling or marking them separately. Or if you want to start using marrow, I suggest that you see only the most high yielding topics from it. But I think the other strategy and a more easier strategy would be to use resources which are more entrance focused and more concise, like dams, Bhatia, cerebellum, etc. In my case, I used cerebellum in that I saw the BTR videos, the Mission NEET PG videos. Along with I also use marrow for learning the high yield topics and the more important topics in them. And for the matter, I think we can use the marrow revision videos as well. I think that's also concise enough without going into unnecessary details. Now, when you make or compile notes in this way, you end up with a high yielding resource which you can revise multiple times. And I think this strategy makes sense to most NEET PG aspirants. I think it's best that you make your own notes or compile your own notes, because by doing so yourself, it will aid in help understanding and remembering those topics well. But in case you want to know how I did it, I'll put down the link to my online store in the description and the comments box, and you can check them out there. So if you want me to answer any specific queries or want me to make any videos on any specific topics, you can put them down in the comments, or you can DM me on my Instagram. I'll put the link of that down as well. So until then, goodbye and all the best.